That's right. I'm going to tell you my top 10 stocks for the rest of the year. And I'm doing that right now because that's changed in just the last week. As I became aware that my data centers, where I made my big money last year, and semiconductors, that the cost of AI is not what they thought it was going to be. That happened as China came out with a platform, and other people have come out with platforms and saying, no, the cost of AI is overpriced. And then you look and you say, well, these data centers have been built based on a cost projection, and they've been financed based on that cost projection. And so there is some collapse occurring inside of it, particularly then when Mark Zuckerberg came out and said, hey, wait a second, some of my AI compute might be up for rent, which he's basically saying that I can do what I want to do to promote Facebook and my other endeavors and have some left over that I'd be willing to rent out. Well, who does that hurt? That hurts all these independent data centers, the neo data centers who were Bitcoin miners and jumped on the bandwagon, and all of a sudden maybe Mark's going to be taking their business from them. And maybe Google and Microsoft also will be. I know Amazon's already come to me and said, hey, if you'd like to buy your compute that you're going to need to run Best of Us investors, we'll take you on. You can put it in our data centers. So these secondary data centers are in a little bit of a fog right now, and that's why you've seen their price go down. Went up a bit today because Bitcoin went up, but that did not reinforce my belief that, hey, they're going to get what they thought they were going to get, and that maybe the financing isn't going to kill them after all, but they're in jeopardy. So with that in mind, I recognize still AI is going to be the biggest thing in the world, just like the internet was the biggest thing. It isn't the providers of the internet who are making the money today. No, it's the people who are selling their products over the internet, the Amazons, the Google, and the Microsoft. So the same thing is going to happen in the AI compute world. So companies like me, Best of Us investors, who built 2 AI agents and basically said, hey, I don't need Goldman Sachs's stock analysts anymore. I couldn't have them anyway. I can create my own stock analyst by teaching them what a growth stock looks like, and then putting that information into my portfolio and getting over 100% return over the last 12 months. So with that in mind, I'm readdressing my portfolio, and I just wanted to share because I think you need to know this is happening. So I'm going to share the 10 stocks that I think I'll get the biggest bang from. And they're small companies like me who have found a niche where, in fact, AI will help them, or the offshoots of AI. Like the first one, it's not really an AI company, it's a battery company. And batteries have become better and more important because of data centers' needs. It's EOSE, and it sells for $3.98. And I think between now and the end of the year, you'll get 83% on it. The next is a uranium company. Again, because of the electricity needs of the data centers, EU is a $1.18 stock. And we're projecting, when I say we, my AI agents, Samantha and Bard, an 81% on that. And then Mountain, one I really think is kind of fun. It's a TV advertising. It's taking AI and it's basically digitizing ads so that when an ad appears on my TV, on my smart TV, for a BMW, I'll be in the driver's seat. And my local BMW dealer will be the advertiser, and they'll tell me to come on over to Irondale Auto Mall and for a test drive. The ads will be directed specifically at me because of their AI capabilities. That stock sells for about $8.85. And then another uranium stock, UEC, again, as a result of the need for alternative electricity, is a $9.53. And I think I'll get about an 84% bump on it before the end of the year. And then AMPX, probably my biggest return, a 96% return. These are autonomous drones. You don't need anybody to fly them, and they'll take it right to that warehouse you want to blow up and be done. Or it'll patrol the streets during the Mets game and find out who that dude was that showed up with a AK-47. Another drone company, ONDS, it's a $6.89 company. It'll give me about 52. Another one I like a lot, you drive down the road and you see a construction site and you see a Caterpillar, a bulldozer sitting there, and it's been sitting there for 2 weeks and hasn't moved. Well, that's inefficiency in that business. Well, there's a company called Equipment Rental that's organizing all of those Caterpillars and backhoes and whatever, and putting them into AI so that if you need one and you need it for 2 days, you can get it for 2 days, and they'll get it to Des Moines, Iowa, so that you can have it. It's a $16.50 company, and I'll get probably a 57% bang out of that. And then a real estate company. We've all been into real estate or used real estate agents, and we know how screwed up it is. This is a juncture or a coming together of two companies. One is Remax, and the other is a AI company, a data company that's taking and collecting all real estate data and going to make the lives of real estate agents and real estate brokers and lending officers and all of that easier. I expect a 60% bump there. And then one of the most screwed up, I laugh every time I hear, get your title back at Title Max. How did you lose your title in the first place? Well, it's because some banker made a bad loan to you because he didn't have enough data and information on you to tell them that you weren't going to be able to keep up with your loan because you don't show up at your work on time and you're not a good credit risk. I think I'll get a 73% bump out of that. And then ELVA, another battery company. This is the battery company that Amazon just put a major bump into because their battery does not ever catch on fire. They've been in this business for years, and they have the only battery that is built to assure that it won't catch on fire. Well, why is that important to Amazon? Well, let's just assume you owned about 58 warehouses full of millions and millions of dollars worth of merchandise, and you had a potential firebomb sitting on row number 7 in the form of a forklift. You wouldn't sleep at night, or either that or you'd park all your forklifts in another building, which is kind of an inconvenience. So that's why ELVA it actually went up somewhere in the neighborhood of 25% in one day, and then bounced back down. And so it's a good buy right now at $19.18. Now, those are the 10 best stocks that I've got for the rest of the year. But I do not, in fact, I insist you not buy one of them. Not until you know what they do. Not until you've looked at their books. Not until you know who their CEO and what he's been doing for the last 10 years. No, you would not buy a restaurant in your community without looking at their books. So do not take your life savings and invest it in an ETF that you don't know what's in it. I had a couple this weekend, good friends. retired doctor and his wife, they met in medical school, and they said to me, Kerry, our portfolio is the highest it's ever been. Should we liquidate and go into CDs? And I said, and collect 4%? Yeah, I guess so. I said, well, what is it you own in your portfolio? And they said, what do you mean? What do I own? We own ETFs and mutual funds and some bonds. And I said, yeah, but who's in those ETFs? What companies do you own either bonds or stock in? Well, we have no idea. Why don't you have an idea? Do you know what's going on in your house? That's probably the second biggest asset you own. Sure you do, and you get things repaired and you maintain them on a regular basis. Why don't you do that on your biggest asset? I know these people have over $1 million, and yet they don't know what they own. That makes no sense. I know they're educated people. They both graduated from college. He's an MD. He was one of the most prominent MDs in Birmingham, Alabama. And he doesn't know what he owns. Why? I'm asking you, why? Because you don't know what you own either. And you buy mutual funds and bonds, and you don't know the financial condition of the companies that you're buying. That's just stupid. And if I sat down to you and explained it to you when you were in high school and said, this is what you're going to do, you would say to me, oh, hell no, I'm not. I'm going to know what I own. But they didn't do that in high school, did they? Didn't do it in college. Didn't do it in graduate school. Hell, they don't do it when you get a master's degree at Harvard. No. Leave it to your financial advisor. You go rent your time as for the highest price you can. Accumulate assets and then give them to somebody that you don't know and let them manage them for you. No, that's just damn stupid. Okay, got that off my chest. Do not buy any of these stocks. Do not until you come to my website, sign up for to be a part of my tribe, and then go through my tell sheet and listen to my explanation for my Bard and Samantha on every one of those stocks. And they'll tell you what their earnings were last quarter, what they project them to be the next quarter. They'll tell you what their margins are and what they used to be. And they'll tell you what the price of the stock's going to be in the next 6 months, then the next 18 months, and then the next 3 years. So why don't you do that and take control of your financial life? And I'll tell you who's going to thank you for it. Your children. Because you're going to take a look at these 10 stocks and take all those numbers and average them together, and you're going to come up with somewhere around 75%. What happens if your portfolio grows by 75% over the next 6 months? What happens? Would you do anything any different than you've done in the previous 6 months? Think about it. And then I'll see you next week at our Friday Stock Talk.